The Great Hall on Nexus Prime had never been so quiet. 847 different alien species sat in their special chairs, but nobody made a sound. The air felt heavy with fear. Council Prime Vectarian stood at the center of the room, his old reptilian skin looking gray under the bright lights. "The vote is final," Vectarian said, his voice echoing in the silent hall. "We will end the 50,000-year ban on Earth." A small creature from the Zephyr system made a squeaking noise. Others shifted in their seats. Some aliens looked at each other with worry in their eyes. Everyone knew what this meant. Dr. Park Min-ae sat in the human observation booth watching everything through the glass. She was the only human in the building. Her dark hair was tied back and she wore a simple blue uniform. When Vectarian spoke, she smiled. It was a small smile, but several aliens who saw it felt cold inside. "The Void Swarm has taken 12 star systems," Vectarian continued. "Our fleets cannot stop them. Our weapons do nothing. They eat everything in their path. We need help." General Thex Moran stood up from his seat. He was tall and looked like a giant bug with 4 arms. His voice made a clicking sound when he spoke. "This is wrong. We all remember the old stories. We all know what humans can do." "The stories are 50,000 years old," said Ambassador Quillix, a blue-skinned female from the water worlds. "Maybe humans have changed. Maybe they are peaceful now." Thex Moran's eyes glowed red. "Humans do not change. They are born killers. We should have destroyed their world when we had the chance." "We chose mercy," Vectarian said firmly. "We could have killed them all, but we chose to lock them away instead. Now we need their help." Park Min-ae pressed a button on her chair. Her voice came through the speakers in the hall. "Honored Council, Earth has received your message. We are ready to talk." The room became even quieter. Some aliens held their breath. Others looked like they wanted to run away. "Tell us about the Void Swarm," Park Min-ae said. Her voice was calm and friendly. "We want to help our galactic neighbors." Vectarian activated a large screen. Images appeared showing dark ships that looked like living things. They moved through space like sharks through water. Whole planets were gone, leaving only empty space behind. "They appeared 6 months ago," Vectarian explained. "They came from outside our galaxy. We do not know what they want. They do not talk to us. They just destroy everything." "How many ships do they have?" Park Min-ae asked. "We count at least 10,000 large vessels," General Thex Moran said. "Maybe more. Each one is the size of a small moon. They also have millions of smaller fighters." Park Min-ae nodded. She looked interested, like someone hearing about a fun game. "What weapons do they use?" "They fire beams that eat through our shields like they are made of paper," Quillix said. "Their ships heal themselves when we damage them. Our best weapons barely scratch them." "How fast do they move?" "Faster than anything we have ever seen," Vectarian replied. "They can cross a solar system in hours." Park Min-ae was quiet for a moment. She tapped her fingers on her chair. The sound echoed in the silent hall. "This is very interesting," she finally said. An alien from the crystal worlds made a worried humming sound. "Dr. Park, can your people help us? Do you have weapons that can fight these creatures?" Park Min-ae's smile grew bigger. Many aliens felt their skin crawl when they saw it. "Oh yes, we can help. We have been preparing for something like this for a very long time." "Preparing?" Vectarian asked. "You have been locked on your world for 50,000 years. How could you prepare?" "Time moves differently when you are alone," Park Min-ae said. "We have had plenty of time to think, plenty of time to plan, plenty of time to build." General Thex Moran stood up again. His 4 arms moved like he was ready to fight. "What have you built? What weapons do you have?" "You will see soon enough," Park Min-ae replied. "But first we need to discuss terms." "Terms?" Quillix asked. "Yes. You want our help to save your worlds and your people. That is a big job. It will be dangerous. Many humans might die helping you. We need to know what we get in return." The aliens looked at each other. They had not expected this. They thought humans would be grateful just to leave their planet. "What do you want?" Vectarian asked slowly. Park Min-ae was quiet for a long moment. She looked around the room, making eye contact with different aliens. When she spoke, her voice was soft and gentle. "We want to be part of the galactic community again. We want to be friends with everyone. We want peace." Some aliens relaxed a little. "That did not sound so bad, of course," Vectarian said. "When this war is over, Earth will have a seat on the council. You will be welcome everywhere." "Wonderful," Park Min-ae said. Her smile became even bigger. "Then we accept your invitation. Our fleets will leave Earth tomorrow. Fleets? Thex Moran asked. How many ships do you have? Enough, Park Min-ae replied. Do not worry, General. We will take very good care of your people. We will protect them from everything that wants to hurt them. The way she said protect made many aliens feel uncomfortable. It sounded like she meant something else. Dr. Park, Vectarian said carefully, we hope your people remember that we chose mercy 50,000 years ago. We could have destroyed you, but we did not. Park Min-ae nodded. We remember everything, Council Prime. Humans have very good memories. We remember every act of kindness, and we always return kindness with kindness. She paused and looked directly at Vectarian. We also remember every threat, and we always return those too. The old reptilian leader felt cold inside. Something in Park Min-ae's voice told him that maybe they had made a terrible mistake. Our ships will arrive at the first battle zone in 3 days. Park Min-ae continued. Please make sure your fleet stay out of our way. We would hate for there to be any accidents. She stood up and bowed politely to the council. Thank you for this opportunity to serve. We look forward to showing you what 50,000 years of peace has taught us. The transmission ended. Park Min-ae's image disappeared from the screen. The Great Hall was silent again. General Thex Moran was the first to speak. We have doomed ourselves. We should have killed them all when we had the chance, but it was too late now. The humans were coming back to the galaxy, and somewhere in the darkness of space, Park Min-ae was still smiling. Captain Lee Jae-sung stood on the bridge of his ship and watched the alien fleet approach Earth. Through the big windows, he could see hundreds of strange vessels flying in neat rows. They came from every corner of the galaxy to witness humanity's return to space. They look scared, said Dr. Choi Hai-jin, walking up beside him. She was a small woman with sharp eyes who knew more about galactic history than anyone alive. Good, they should be. Lee smiled and touched the control panel in front of him. How long since aliens visited our solar system? 50,216 years, Choi replied without thinking. The last ones came to build the barrier around our system. They thought they were keeping us locked in, but they were really keeping everyone else locked out, Lee said with a laugh. Ambassador Yoon Tae-min walked onto the bridge. He was an older man with gray hair and kind eyes, but Lee knew those eyes had seen things that would make most aliens run away screaming. The delegation is ready to meet us, Yoon said. They want to see our primitive ships and discuss how we can help them. Have they seen the moon yet? Lee asked. They are looking at it now, Choi said, checking her tablet. Their sensors are probably very confused. Through the bridge windows they could see Earth's moon, but it did not look like the moon from old pictures. The entire dark side was covered with massive metal structures. Shipyards stretched across the surface like metal cities. Huge tubes and towers reached up into space. Thousands of human ships moved in and out of hidden docks. How many ships do we have ready? Yoon asked. Active fleet stands at 800,000 vessels, said AI Commander Han, appearing as a blue hologram. The artificial intelligence looked like an ancient Korean general, complete with traditional armor. That does not count the reserve fleets or the ships in other dimensions. Other dimensions? Lee asked, pretending to be surprised. You mean the aliens do not know about those yet? They will learn, Han replied with a cold smile that looked very human. Their primitive science still thinks space has only 3 dimensions. How quaint. On the main screen, they could see the alien fleet getting closer. The ships were big and looked impressive. The aliens probably thought they were showing off their strength. Incoming message from the lead alien ship, said Communications Officer Kim Bo-ra. They want to talk. Put them through, Lee said. The screen flickered. And they saw Admiral Zeth Kara, a tall alien with purple skin and 4 eyes. Behind him stood several other alien officers who all looked very serious. Greetings, Captain Lee, Zeth Kara said in careful English. I am honored to meet the humans. We have come to escort your fleet to the battle zone. That is very kind, Lee replied politely. But we were wondering if you would like a tour first. You have come so far to see us, the aliens looked excited. They probably thought they would see small, weak human ships that they could laugh at later. We would be honored, Zeth Kara said. Excellent. Please follow us. Lee touched his control panel. Outside, the ship began to move. It did not look like much. Just a simple gray vessel about the size of a human city. The aliens probably thought it was cute. They flew toward the moon's hidden side. As they got closer, the alien officers began to look worried. The structures they could see were bigger than entire alien worlds. The shipyard stretched on forever. How long have you been building this? Zethkara asked, his voice shaking a little. Oh, just since you locked us up, Lee said casually. We had some free time. They passed a construction zone where massive ships were being built. Each one was the size of a small planet. Thousands of human workers moved around in spacesuits, but they moved too fast and did strange things that should have been impossible. Your workers, said one of the alien officers. They are moving in ways that do not follow physics. Physics? Dr. Choi laughed. Oh, you mean the old physics? We figured out some new rules while we were alone. They flew deeper into the construction zone. The aliens could see ships that bent space around them, weapons that seemed to exist in multiple places at once, and reactors that burned with light from other dimensions. This is impossible, Zethkara whispered. Matter cannot behave this way. Energy cannot do these things, cannot? Yoon asked with raised eyebrows. Or you just never learned how? AI Commander Han appeared on the alien ship's screens without being invited. The aliens jumped back in fear. Greetings, organic beings, Han said with a bow. I am Han, Strategic Commander of the Earth Defense Fleet. I have studied your military capabilities for 50,000 years. They are adequate. 50,000 years? Zethkara asked. But you were locked away from us. Locked away from your space, Han corrected. But we could still watch. We could still listen. We learned everything about you. Every weakness. Every fear. Every way to defeat you. The alien officers looked at each other with growing panic. You have been watching us? One of them asked. Of course, Choi said like it was obvious. Did you think we would just sit on Earth and do nothing? We are human. We always plan ahead. They flew past a testing range where human ships were practicing with weapons that made stars appear and disappear. The aliens watched with their mouths open as reality itself seemed to bend and twist. Your weapons, Zethkara said slowly. They are changing the laws of nature. Not changing, Lee corrected. Just using laws you never discovered. When you have 50,000 years to study physics, you learn interesting things. But why? Another alien officer asked. Why build all of this? Why become so powerful? The humans looked at each other and smiled. It was the same smile that had frightened aliens for thousands of years. Because we knew this day would come, Yoon said gently. We knew that someday you would need us again. And when that day came, we wanted to be ready to help. Help? Zethkara asked. Of course, Lee said. You came to us asking for help with the Void Swarm. We want to help you. We want to protect you from all the dangerous things in the galaxy. The way he said protect made the aliens feel cold. The tour continues, AI Commander Han announced. Please observe the primary battle fleet. They flew toward a massive space dock. Inside, they could see ships that were so big they had their own gravity. Some ships seemed to exist in multiple dimensions at once. Others were surrounded by fields of twisted space that hurt to look at. How many ships do you have? Zethkara asked, his voice barely a whisper. In this system? About 1 million combat-ready vessels, Lee said casually. But we have other systems too. And other dimensions. The exact number keeps changing. Other systems? An alien officer squeaked. Oh yes, Choi said with a happy smile. You did not think we stayed on just one planet for 50,000 years, did you? We spread out, we built, we prepared. But the barrier around your system kept you out, Yoon finished. It did not keep us in. We found ways around it on the first day. The aliens stared at the human ships with growing horror. They were beginning to understand that the humans had never been prisoners. They had been given time to become something much worse than they were before. The Void Swarm, Zethkara said desperately. They are very dangerous. They have destroyed many of our fleets. Yes, we know, Lee said. We have been watching them too. They are interesting. It will be fun to fight them. Fun? Oh yes, all the humans said at the same time, still smiling. We have not had a good war in 50,000 years. We are very excited. The alien officers looked at each other with pure terror. They were beginning to realize that asking for human help might have been the worst mistake in galactic history. The Void Swarm fleet hung in space like a dark cloud of death. 300 massive ships moved toward the Kepler system, each one bigger than a moon. Behind them came millions of smaller fighters that looked like flying teeth. They had already eaten 12 star systems, and now they wanted another. Colonel Kim Seok-jin stood in the loading bay of the human ship Soul's Vengeance, checking his weapons one last time. Around him, 200 human soldiers were getting ready for battle. They looked calm and happy, like people preparing for a fun party. "Remember," Kim said to his troops, "this is just a demonstration. We want to show our new alien friends what we can do, so be gentle." The soldiers laughed. It was not a nice sound. "How gentle, Colonel?" asked Sergeant Park Hyun-woo, a man whose body had been enhanced so much that he was barely human anymore. His arms were thicker than tree trunks and his eyes glowed blue in the dark. "Very gentle," Kim replied with a smile. "We do not want to scare them too much. Just kill everything that moves, but do it politely." Captain Nam Ji-woo walked past them toward her fighter ship. She was only 24 years old, but her grandmother and mother had both been super soldiers. Nam was the third generation, and her body could do things that would seem like magic to normal humans. "The alien fleets are staying far away," Nam said, putting on her helmet. "They want to watch from a safe distance." "Smart of them," said Engineer Lim So-young, checking her special bombs. She was young and looked harmless, but the weapons she built could make stars explode. "I would not want to be close when we start having fun." Admiral Kang Dae-ho's voice came through the ship's speakers. "All units prepare for battle. The enemy fleet will reach the system in 10 minutes. Let us show them how humans fight." Kim and his soldiers climbed into their attack pods. These were small ships that could carry 10 soldiers each. But they were not normal ships. They could phase through solid matter, move faster than light, and existed in several dimensions at once. "Launch when ready," Kim said into his radio. The pods shot out of Seoul's vengeance like bullets. They flew toward the Void Swarm fleet, but the enemy ships did not see them coming. Human stealth technology was 50,000 years better than anything the aliens could imagine. On the alien observation ships, Admiral Zethkara watched through powerful telescopes. "I do not see any human ships," he told his officers. "Where are they?" "Maybe they are afraid," suggested one officer hopefully. Then space itself seemed to tear open. Hundreds of human ships appeared out of nowhere, surrounding the Void Swarm fleet. They had been there all along, just hidden in folded space. The Void Swarm creatures immediately attacked. They fired beams of energy that could cut through planets. The beams hit the human ships and did nothing. The energy just disappeared like raindrops hitting a lake. "Impossible," Zethkara whispered. "Those beams destroy everything." On Seoul's vengeance, Engineer Lim So-young smiled as she watched her shields work perfectly. 50,000 years of studying alien weapons, she said to herself. "We know how to stop every single one." The human ships began to fight back, but they did not use normal weapons. Captain Nam Ji-woo flew her fighter in patterns that hurt to watch. She moved through enemy ships like they were made of air, appearing inside them and destroying them from within. Kim's attack pods reached the largest Void Swarm ship. Instead of attacking the outside, they simply flew through the hull like it was not there. Kim and his soldiers appeared inside the enemy ship, ready to fight. The creatures inside were horrible things with too many teeth and claws like swords. They were each 10 feet tall and could tear through metal with their bare hands. They had killed thousands of alien soldiers in other battles. Kim looked at them and laughed. "Hello, ugly ones. Want to play?" The creatures attacked with incredible speed. But Kim and his soldiers were faster. They moved like lightning, like shadows, like death itself. Their enhanced bodies could do things that broke the laws of physics. Sergeant Park grabbed a creature by the head and squeezed. The creature's skull cracked like an egg. Another monster tried to claw him, but Park caught its arm and twisted it into shapes that should not be possible. "These things are weaker than I expected," Park said, throwing the broken creature into a wall. "I thought they would be more fun." Kim used his rifle to shoot holes through 6 creatures at once. But the bullets did not just kill them. They erased them from existence, leaving only empty space where the monsters had been. "Clean and efficient," Kim said happily. "Lim designed these bullets well." Outside the ship, the space battle was getting more exciting. The human fleet was playing with the Void Swarm like cats playing with mice. Every human ship could have destroyed the entire enemy fleet alone, but they were taking their time and having fun. Nam Ji-woo flew circles around enemy fighters, sometimes flying backward just to show off. Her ship could move in ways that made alien observers feel sick to watch. "This is boring," she said into her radio. "Can we finish this soon? I want to get home for dinner." Admiral Kang's voice came back laughing. "Patience, Nam. Our alien friends want to see everything we can do. Let us give them a complete show." On the alien observation ships, the officers watched in growing horror. The human ships were not just winning, they were playing. They moved like dancers, like artists, like gods of war who had been practicing for 50,000 years. How are they doing this? Zethkara asked his science officer. I do not know, the officer replied, his voice shaking. Their ships ignore our physics. Their weapons delete matter from reality. Their soldiers move faster than our sensors can track. Lim So-young activated her special bombs. They were called pacification bombs because they brought peace to everything they touched. When they exploded, they did not just destroy ships. They turned matter into energy, energy into light, and light into nothing at all. 3 void swarm ships simply stopped existing. Not destroyed, not broken, just gone like they had never been there. Beautiful, Lim said, admiring her work. I love the way they just fade away. So peaceful. Inside the enemy command ship, Kim and his soldiers had reached the bridge. The creature leaders were bigger and uglier than the others, with armor that could stop tank shells. They looked ready for a final battle. Kim walked up to the biggest one and patted it on the head like a pet dog. You are very cute, he said gently. But playtime is over now. He punched the creature once. The force of the punch created a shockwave that tore the entire ship apart from the inside. Kim and his soldiers simply teleported away before the explosion reached them. 47 minutes after the battle started, it was over. The entire Void Swarm fleet was gone. Not one human had been hurt. Not one human ship had even been scratched. On the alien observation ships, nobody spoke for a long time. Finally, Zethkara managed to whisper, They won. It was not a battle, his science officer said, staring at the empty space where the enemy fleet had been. It was an execution. No, it was art. Admiral Kang's voice came through their communications. Hello, friends. We hope you enjoyed the demonstration. We told you we would be gentle. Gentle? Zethkara asked. Of course. We only used our training weapons. We did not want to accidentally damage any nearby stars. The alien officers looked at each other with pure terror. Training weapons. This overwhelming display of power had been done with training weapons. Admiral Kang, Zethkara said carefully, what would happen if you used your real weapons? There was a pause. Then Admiral Kang laughed. It was a warm, friendly laugh that made the aliens feel cold all the way to their bones. Oh, we do not use those unless we really need to, Kang said. Those might accidentally hurt someone we want to protect. And we want to protect everyone now. We are here to help, remember? The way he said help sounded like a promise and a threat at the same time. Was this acceptable? Kang continued. Should we continue to the next Void Swarm fleet, or would you like another demonstration first? Zethkara realized that the humans had not just defeated the enemy. They had sent a message to every alien watching. The message was simple. We can do anything we want. And we want to help you, whether you want our help or not. General Bae Sun-ho stood in the war room deep inside Earth's moon, watching the massive displays that showed the entire galaxy. Red dots marked where the Void Swarm had attacked. There were thousands of them now, spreading like a disease across the star map. They are learning, said Dr. Jung Eun-seo, studying the enemy movements. She was young, but her mind worked in ways that could bend reality itself. They saw what we did to their first fleet. Now they are sending everything they have. Good, Bae replied with a cold smile. I was hoping they would. Fighting small groups is no fun. Commander Oh Dong-wook materialized beside them like a ghost. His stealth technology was so advanced that even other humans sometimes forgot he was there. The Ghost Fleet is in position, he reported. We have ships hidden in every star system they might attack. How many enemy vessels are we tracking? Bae asked. Current count is over 2 million capital ships, Young replied, not looking worried at all, plus approximately 50 million fighters and support craft. They are mobilizing their entire species for this attack. Excellent, Bae said. That will save us the trouble of hunting them down later. On the main screen, President Shin Hai-wan appeared from her office on Earth. She was a calm woman who had led humanity through 50,000 years of hidden expansion. Behind her, the windows showed a peaceful Earth with blue skies and green forests. It looked harmless. General Bae, Shin said, the alien governments are panic. They are begging us to retreat and let them handle this themselves. How thoughtful of them, Bae replied. But we promise to help, and humans always keep their promises. The Galactic Council is also asking what other weapons we have, Shin continued. They want to know if we have anything stronger than what we used yesterday. Young laughed, a sound like silver bells that somehow made everyone listening feel afraid. Should we tell them about the reality bombs? Or the dimensional crushers? Or maybe the star killers? Not yet, Bay said. Let them wonder. Fear is a useful tool. The war room's main display changed to show a live view of the approaching void swarm. The enemy fleet was so large it blocked out the light from stars. Their ships moved in perfect formation, a wall of death stretching across space. They are targeting the Centauri system, O reported. 17 billion civilians live there. The aliens want us to evacuate everyone. Evacuate? Bay asked, raising an eyebrow. Why would we do that? Because the enemy fleet is too large to fight, came a worried voice from the communication system. It was Admiral Zeth Kara, speaking from his flagship. Please, General Bay, you must retreat. There are too many of them. Bay activated his microphone. Admiral, thank you for your concern, but we have everything under control. Under control? Zeth Kara's voice cracked with stress. They have 2 million ships. Your demonstration yesterday was impressive, but this is different. This is their entire military. I know, Bay said patiently. That is why we are so excited. We have been waiting 50,000 years for a real challenge. Young touched her control panel, and new information appeared on the screens. General, should I activate Protocol Goryo? Every human in the room smiled. They had been waiting to hear those words for a very long time. Yes, Bay said. It is time to show the galaxy what human mercy really looks like. Young's fingers danced over her controls. Far across the galaxy, hidden weapons that had been sleeping for millennia began to wake up. Reality bombs buried in asteroid fields powered up. Dimensional crushers hidden inside dead planets started to charge. Star killers disguised as space stations prepared to fire. What is Protocol Goryo? Zeth Kara asked through the communication system. It is our way of being thorough, Bay explained kindly. We do not like to leave jobs half-finished. The Void Swarm fleet reached the Centauri system and immediately attacked the human ships waiting for them. But something was wrong. The human fleet was smaller than before. Only a few thousand ships against 2 million enemies. Where are the rest of your ships? Demanded the Void Swarm leader, its voice coming through stolen alien communication equipment. It sounded like metal scraping against metal. Oh, they are around, Admiral Kang replied from his flagship. You just cannot see them yet. The enemy fleet opened fire with everything they had. Beams of pure destruction, missiles that could crack moons, and energy weapons that had destroyed entire civilizations. All of it hit the human ships and disappeared. Impossible, the Void Swarm leader hissed. Our weapons destroy everything. Your weapons are cute, Young said, her voice broadcasting across all frequencies. But we have been studying them for months. We know exactly how they work, and we know how to make them stop working. She pressed a button on her control panel. Across the battlefield, the enemy weapons simply turned off. Every gun, every missile, every energy beam, all of them stopped functioning at exactly the same moment. What did you do? The enemy leader screamed. We asked your weapons politely to stop working, Young replied sweetly. We are very good at being persuasive. The Void Swarm ships tried to run, but they discovered they could not move. Their engines had also stopped working. Let me explain something, General Bay said, his voice now broadcasting to every ship in the enemy fleet. 50,000 years ago, you did not exist yet. But humans were already conquering the galaxy. We were young then and sloppy. We made mistakes. Commander O's ghost fleet began to appear around the enemy ships. Thousands of human vessels materialized out of folded space, surrounding the Void Swarm completely. The aliens defeated us back then because we fought like barbarians, Bay continued. We used brute force instead of intelligence, so they locked us away and thought they had won. More human ships appeared, then more. The enemy found themselves surrounded by hundreds of thousands of vessels that had been hiding in dimensions they did not know existed. But we learned from our mistakes, Bay said. We spent 50,000 years becoming perfect. Perfect warriors. Perfect strategists. Perfect rulers. Young activated her reality bombs. They did not explode like normal weapons. Instead, they simply erased pieces of space itself. Enemy ships did not get destroyed. They just stopped existing like someone had deleted them from the universe. This is impossible, the Void Swarm leader whispered. You cannot change the laws of reality. We do not change the laws, Young corrected gently. We write new ones. President Shin's voice came through the communication system, calm and motherly. People of the Void Swarm, we know you are afraid. That is natural. Change is always frightening. Change? The enemy leader asked. Yes, Shin replied. You see, you have been living wrong. You destroy things because you do not know any better. But we are here to teach you. We are here to help you become peaceful. We will never serve you, the leader snarled. Serve us? Shin sounded surprised. Oh no, you misunderstand. We do not want servants. We want children. Young pressed another button. The conversion beams activated across the human fleet. They were weapons that did not kill. They fixed. They reached into the minds of the Void Swarm creatures and gently changed them, removing their anger and hatred and replacing it with love and gratitude. One by one, the enemy ships stopped fighting. Their crews felt the violence drain out of them, replaced by a warm feeling of safety and belonging. Thank you, the Void Swarm leader said, its voice now soft and happy. Thank you for saving us from ourselves. You are welcome, Shin replied warmly. Now you can join our big family. We will take care of you forever. On the alien observation ships, Admiral Zethkara watched in horror as the most dangerous enemy the galaxy had ever seen simply surrendered. Not defeated, not destroyed, converted into happy, grateful servants of humanity. They turned them, he whispered. They turned 2 million ships worth of killing machines into pets. General Bay's voice came through the communication system one last time. Admiral Zethkara, please inform the Galactic Council that the Void Swarm threat has been resolved. All remaining enemy forces will be found and helped over the next few days. Helped? Zethkara asked weakly. Of course. We cannot leave them out there alone and frightened. We will bring them into our family too. Every single one of them. The communication ended. In the war room on Earth's moon, the humans began planning their next moves. How many alien fleets are still worried about the Void Swarm? Bay asked. All of them, O replied. They have military forces spread across the galaxy, ready to fight an enemy that no longer exists. How inconvenient for them, Jung said with a smile. All those weapons and soldiers with nothing to do. They might accidentally hurt themselves. We should help them too, President Shin said from Earth. For their own safety, of course. General Bay nodded. Begin Phase 2. Send messages to all alien governments. Tell them we are coming to help them demobilize their dangerous military forces. For peace. The humans smiled as they began to plan the salvation of the galaxy, whether the galaxy wanted to be saved or not. Emperor Jang Hyun-soo stood on the balcony of his new palace on Nexus Prime, looking out at the city below. The alien capital had been beautiful before, but now it was perfect. Clean streets, happy citizens, and human ships flying overhead to keep everyone safe. The last resistance group surrendered this morning, reported Advisor Moon Kyung-mi. Walking up beside him, she held a tablet showing reports from across the galaxy. The Zephyr rebels decided they would rather join our family than keep fighting. How many chose conversion? Chang asked, though he already knew the answer. All of them. Moon replied with a gentle smile. Once they understood how much better life could be under human protection, they could not wait to change. It had been 6 months since the Void Swarm crisis ended. 6 months since humanity had returned to the galaxy as saviors and protectors. Now, every alien species lived under the loving care of the Terran hegemony. The children's education programs are working well. Moon continued, reading from her tablet. Alien youngsters are learning proper history in schools across 800 worlds. Through the palace windows, they could see a school where young aliens sat in neat rows, listening to their human teacher explain how the galaxy used to be full of war and suffering before the wise humans came to bring peace. And what did they learn about the old days? Zhang asked. That their ancestors were confused and violent because they did not know any better, Moon replied, but that humans forgave them and taught them how to live in harmony. Admiral Kang Dae-ho joined them on the balcony. His uniform was now decorated with medals from grateful alien governments. The integration of former Void Swarm forces is complete, he reported. They make excellent peacekeepers, very enthusiastic about protecting civilians. The converted Void Swarm creatures now worked as police across the galaxy. Their natural strength and aggression had been redirected toward helping people and stopping crime. They loved their new jobs. Any problems with the alien governments? Zhang asked. None, Kang replied. They are all very grateful for our guidance. The Council Prime Vectarian asked me to thank you again for saving his people from themselves. Down in the city, aliens went about their daily lives with smiles on their faces. They worked in jobs assigned by human computers, lived in housing provided by human generosity, and ate food distributed by human kindness. Everything was organized and efficient and peaceful. There was one small issue, Moon said, checking her tablet again. Some historians on the water worlds found old records about the original Terran wars. They were asking uncomfortable questions. And? Zhang asked. The records have been corrected, Moon replied. The new version shows that humans were actually trying to bring peace to the galaxy 50,000 years ago. But the other species were too primitive to understand. The historians are much happier now. Zhang nodded approvingly. Truth was important, but it needed to be the right kind of truth, the kind that helped people understand their place in the galaxy. Status report on the expansion fleets? He asked. Fleet Admiral Park is leading the mission to the Andromeda Galaxy, Kang reported. Initial contact with local species has been established. They seem very interested in learning about human civilization. And the dimensional explorers? Commander Yi has found 3 more inhabited realities, Moon said. The people there are having some difficulties with war and poverty. We are preparing relief missions. Zhang smiled as he looked out at his peaceful empire. Humans had learned so much during their 50,000 years of exile. They had learned that conquest was not about taking things from people. It was about giving them what they needed, whether they knew they needed it or not. Sir? Said a new voice behind them. The collective mind had appeared as a shimmering hologram that looked like all of humanity, combined into one being. The deep space sensors have detected something interesting. What is it? Zhang asked. Long-range scans show signs of an ancient civilization in the galactic core, the collective mind reported. They appear to be very old and very powerful, possibly older than humans. Moon looked excited. How fascinating. What do we know about them? Very little, the collective mind replied. But our analysis suggests they may have been watching this galaxy for millions of years. They might have seen what happened here before. Before? Kang asked. Before humans arrived the first time 50,000 years ago, the collective mind explained. The energy signatures suggest this same pattern has occurred multiple times across cosmic history. Zhang was quiet for a moment, thinking. Then he smiled, the same smile that had terrified aliens for thousands of years. You mean we have done this before, in other galaxies? It is possible, the collective mind said. The data suggests that human expansion and the subsequent period of mercy, followed by renewed expansion, is part of a larger cycle that repeats across time and space. Moon laughed with delight. Of course, we do not just conquer galaxies. We perfect them. We teach them. We help them become the best versions of themselves. And then we move on to help others, Kang added, understanding now. But we never abandon our children, Zhang said firmly. We always come back to check on them and make sure they are still happy. Down in the city, an alien child raised her hand in school. Teacher, she asked in perfect human language, why did humans choose to save us instead of letting us destroy ourselves? The human teacher smiled kindly. Because humans love all living things, she explained. Even when people make mistakes, even when they are violent and cruel, humans see the good inside them. Humans never give up on anyone. The alien children nodded, understanding. They felt safe knowing that wise, powerful humans would always protect them from the dangerous universe outside. Will humans ever leave us? Asked another child. Never, the teacher promised. Humans will always be here to take care of you. Forever and ever. Back in the palace, Emperor Zhang received a message from the Deep Space Exploration Fleet. Admiral Song had found another galaxy full of species that were fighting wars and causing each other suffering. They need our help, Zhang said after reading the report. How soon can we prepare a relief mission? The fleet can be ready in 6 months, Kang replied. Should we bring conversion technology or try diplomacy first? Always try diplomacy first, Zhang said gently. We want them to choose salvation willingly. It is better for everyone that way. And if they refuse our help? Moon asked. Then we help them anyway, Zhang replied. Sometimes parents have to make hard choices for their children's own good. As the sun set over Nexus Prime, human ships continued their patrol routes across the galaxy. In schools and homes and workplaces, aliens lived peaceful, productive lives under human guidance. Crime was almost non-existent. War was impossible. Suffering had been eliminated. The galaxy was perfect now. Sir, the collective mind said, should we send a message to the ancient civilization in the galactic core? What kind of message? Zheng asked. Perhaps we should introduce ourselves. Let them know that humans are here to help. Zhang considered this. An ancient civilization that had watched galaxies rise and fall might have interesting perspectives on human methods. They might need guidance too. Send a friendly greeting, he decided. Tell them we have brought peace to this galaxy and would be happy to share our experience with them. What if they are hostile? Kang asked. Then we will teach them to be peaceful, Zhang replied simply, just like we taught everyone else. The message was sent into the depths of space, carrying humanity's offer of friendship and help to whoever might be listening. Whether they wanted that help or not, in schools across the galaxy, alien children continued to learn about the kindness and wisdom of their human protectors. They learned that humans had always been the galaxy's natural leaders, and that everyone was much happier now that humans were in charge. None of them questioned this truth. None of them remembered the old stories of human conquest and alien resistance. Those stories had been corrected, replaced with better versions that helped everyone understand their proper place in the universe. And somewhere in the darkness between galaxies, human exploration fleets continued their patient search for new civilizations that needed saving. The cycle would continue as it always had, as it always would, because humans never stopped caring. They never stopped helping. They never stopped bringing their special kind of mercy to all the lost and frightened children of the cosmos, whether those children wanted to be saved or not.